to pitch and get started. So I will turn it over to Ms. Esmeralda Rocha Lozano, the Director of Bands here, and the Wind Ensemble.
That first piece was Dance Bohemian. It's a really fun dance, and what it stands for is a gypsy dance. So you heard some gypsy-inspired music over here with the xylophone and the marimbas played by Gabby and Tyler, and the tambourine back there, and a lot of fantastic melodic lines happening, and then accompaniment with the mallets. The next piece that we're going to be playing is Troops of the Mustard Armies. This piece, I ran into, the composer of this piece is Frank Duarte, and I met him last summer at a UCLA session that we did together. He's a composer, receiving his BA. And one of his projects as an undergraduate was to write composition music. So he wrote music, and he wrote a piece for Japan. And it was recently noted as as an editor's pick in Japan for pieces to be played. So this is going to be, I guess you could call it the American premiere of the march. The Troops in the Mustard Armies, it is a piece to honor the Emancipation Proclamation during the Civil War, the 30th of the Civil War, and it is a start to announce both sides, the North side and the South side coming together to start the freedom of slavery. And this is kind of like the start. So what you'll hear here is a march, and you're going to hear a little bit of the South side and the North side. You'll hear some Dixieland. You'll hear a little bit of some bugle calls happening. You'll hear the piccolo solo and the Stars and Stripes, which represents freedom, but in a different key at the end. You're going to hear a lot of Civil War pieces coming in and out to represent both sides coming together, and Mustard Armies, meaning both sides of men in uniform coming together to fight. But the Civil War after the Emancipation became the war for freedom. So every time there was a war after that, it stands for really the war of freedom when people came together. So this piece is to, when you listen to it, it's to take you back into that era. And you'll hear the style of playing is going to change just a little bit. So please enjoy Frank Duarte's piece of the Troops of the Mustard Armies. So up next, what we have is a little bit of treat. Our percussion studio does their own concert. Their concert is coming up next Wednesday on the 13th, right here at the Sugar Hall. It's really neat because you get to see another side of them. It's not marching and it's not competitive. And this is going to be one of the pieces that they'll be playing. They just took this to Dave Percussion and did very well in the chamber competition where they received second place on this piece. And this is what they're going to be playing for you is a quintet. And it is called Danza Furioso. Danza being a dance and Furioso is more furious. So it's going to be really fun. It's a great piece. And if you enjoy this, I highly encourage you to come next Wednesday and check out not just the Clovis High concert percussion, but also the Clark Intermediate percussion concert in that. And really get intimate in here and get to see what they're playing. So it is, it should be wonderful. Are you guys ready? So this next piece is called Danza Furioso. So if you like that, there's more. Next Wednesday, there's a lot more. It's great. I mean, our kids do a lot of amazing things. They play jazz, they play an orchestra. We have our orchestra concert coming up in 2 more Tuesdays from now. A lot of the wind players play with the symphony orchestra. It's just a great thing that we have going on at Clovis High. And it's just, I feel so lucky and so blessed to be a part of it and to be able to be in front of these kids. The next piece that we have coming up is, I gotta move this way. Yeah, it's Strange Humors, and it's going to sound, if you haven't heard it before, it's going to sound strange and humorous, and it should. If they're doing it right, it should. It's a fun piece to listen to. The djembes are coming up here, the part of the act. They're twins too, by the way, if you didn't know that. The twins. Yeah. They clean up pretty nicely at concerts. So Strange Humors, it's a really fun John Mackey piece written in '06. And this is one of our pieces that we had for festival, and I really wanted to make sure that as many people heard them play, because they did such a great job. Their entire festival set was a great set, and it really was like a tribute to 100 years of music. So this piece was written in 2006 by John Mackey, and you'll hear Middle Eastern in there, you'll hear Afro-Cuban in there, and it's a fine mix about two different cultures coming into one. And you're going to hear Alex on the English horn, you're going to hear solos and the flute and the piccolo and the trumpet. There are going to be a lot of soloists, a lot of duets and trios happening, and then these guys over here, a guy and gal, are going to be keeping the fort and just keeping the groove happening here. So please enjoy it, and if you want to move, you absolutely can. You should move, and you should feel something when there's music. So the next piece is Strange Humors. They want to come closer, Mom. I make them feel safe. Not that close. If he wants to come closer to Mom, she doesn't. they're so shy to stand up and be acknowledged. They're adorable, adorable kids. They get to be all yours after this. It really has been such a blast. It has been such a blast to work with these kids. If you're a senior, stand up. If you're a senior, stand up either down there or up here. You know, these seniors are awesome. These kids are really, really, really awesome kids. And sometimes they may not be like that because they're your children, they go home, but they are, they really are. Sometimes they even drive me crazy, but I still love them and I still want them to come back. I am so lucky to get to be in front of you guys and to get to teach you all the time. But it's very special. It's very special to see them grow from the freshman year all the way to here, and a lot of them from Clark and even elementary school if I get to know them down there. And it's special. It's special to see the growth, and it's exciting to see them move on and to do great things. And all of them are going to do great things because they are. They're great people, and you have done such a good job to raise them. So thank you for allowing me to work with your kids, and for the rest of you, thank you for trusting me with the rest of your children until they graduate out of here. And I will do my best to raise them, and you do the same at home. And hopefully when they get out of Clovis High, they are awesome people in the process. But it's just been such a joy to work with this group this year. And again, they do drive me nuts. And then I just want to hug them all over again. When they're good, it's great. And then when they drive me nuts, I'm like, oh my gosh, you know, what have we done? Nothing at all. Which is, I'm sure sounds familiar at home. But at the end of the day, I wouldn't trade them for anything in the world. So thank you so much, and thank you for you guys for allowing me to do this with you. Okay. Before we get to our last piece, we have our last parent booster meeting on Tuesday at the band room at 7 o'clock. And what we're going to do is